Hi, this is KodeFighter Klass with MasterHun, and today this class is specifically for the Code Senseis, KodeFighter coaches, KodeFighter referees, KodeFighter trainers for adults. Okay, so today I'm going to start off with a very fundamental beginner lesson, and today I'm going to talk to you about variables. So it's a fundamental concept in coding, the concept of variables, and well, I'm just going to cover the basics of it. Okay, so here I just want to show you what's in my web browser. I have SoloLearn on one tab, and again, SoloLearn is free. You do not pay. You can sign up. You can register. You have to register to use SoloLearn, either on their website or their app. They have the app for both iOS and Android, but you do not have to. It is free. You do not have to pay. They do have a premium option. You do not have to get the premium option to use most of the to get most of the benefits, enjoy most of the features on SoloLearn. But anyway, okay. So SoloLearn, and we have w3schools.com, which is free. You do not have to register. You can use it as both. It uses both for its tutorials and it's also a reference guide. Now this tab we have with what is called Python. The website is pythontutor.com. It's not really a tutor. It's what I would really call a debugger, but it is a tutor in the sense that it's easier to see what is going on in the code by using Python Tutor, and I will use it right now to show you how we code variables in Python 3.x. This version is specifically Python 3.6. So in order to code a variable first of all, what is a variable? A variable is a box with a name or label that holds a value. Again, a variable is a box, or you could think of it as a container that has a name or label that holds a value. What is a value? It could be something as simple as a word, a string, like hello world, or it could be an integer, like 5, or it could be a floating point number like 3.6. It could also be, well, it can be many things, but today just going to cover a few different type of values. Also can be a Boolean. So a Boolean only has two possible values. A Boolean variable can only be true or false. Cannot be true and false at the same time. So it can be true or false. Okay, so we're going to start off with a very simple variable. I call it num1. So there are lots of rules of how you can create a variable name, but today I'm not going to go over all that. It's a lot of details. So let's say num1 is the variable name, and then I'm going to assign it. Now this equal sign, right? So this equal sign is not the equal sign. In coding, that is actually the assignment operator. In Python, that is the assignment operator. So we're putting a value inside this variable num1. And what are we putting inside the variable num1? I'm putting the value 5, which is an integer, a whole number. Okay? Now, and then when I execute the code, now we can see what's happening. So when I execute the code, oh look, we can see over here, we have a variable num1, and inside num1 we have the value 5. But the computer is doing that internally. You can't see anything yourself. So in order for the human being to actually see an output and to see what's inside of it, we need to use a print function. Okay, so we'll put a print function, print num1. So when we run this code, not only will it create we'll create the variable, num1, it'll put the value 5 inside, and then it will print or output or display what is inside num1. Okay, and that's the only way that the user can see what is going on. Otherwise, it wouldn't see. You can see what's happening because we're using pythontutor.com to see it, but otherwise, normally you would not see that. You would not see anything. Okay, now we're going to see something. Okay, so we're going to execute line 1 here, right? We're going to execute line 1, and we made a variable. We named a variable called num1, and we have the value 5, the integer 5 inside of it. And now we're going to execute line 2, where we're going to call the print function, and then we're going to output what's inside num1. Okay, wow, and then this is our output area here. And you see, now we see what is inside num1. Whoa, that's a lot. Exciting, right? Okay. Okay, again, a variable is a box with a name that holds a value. Okay. Let's go back to editing the code. Okay. So I don't know if you thought this was readable or not, but that's one of the reasons why Python is so popular, because the Python code is very readable. So I don't know if you thought that or not. Okay, so Python is a high-level programming language used by Google, NASA, CIA, Disney. Okay, also not that important that you know it, but just letting you know, Python is an interpreted language. Okay, Python is a programming language. Okay, that's correct, right? Okay, it's important to note that there are 2 main versions of Python that's being used right now, which is version 2 and Python version 2 and Python version 3. We are going to cover Python 3 and Python 3.x. Okay, we're not going to cover Python 2. Okay, keep that in mind. We're going to cover Python 3, all generally the most latest version of Python 3. Okay, I have Python 3.7.2 installed on my laptop here, in this laptop, but generally just think of it as Python version 3.x or 3. Okay, which of these statements is true? Python 1.7 is the most widely used version? No. C, Python is an implementation of Python, or Python code must always be compiled? Okay. This is a technical issue you don't really need to notice, but yeah, C, Python is a very common implementation of Python. Okay. Okay, so SoloLearn, yeah, like I said, I highly recommend SoloLearn. I am a paying subscriber. I've paid for 12 months, prepaid for 12 months, but it's only after I've been using it for, I don't know, more than 6 months, 9 months, I can't remember. So SoloLearn is great. You get to, for free. You just does require registration, but otherwise you do not have. Otherwise, just after you register, and you'll have access to the tutorials. You'll have access to. They have a built-in. They have an online coding playground where you can do start coding, learn web development, learn C, C++, C#. You can learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, PHP. Oh, they have so many. It's HTML, CSS, I guess, SQL. They have so much stuff that you can learn. Honestly, it's not going to be enough for you to become a professional coder, but it is a good place to start to learn to code. Okay, so let's go back here, and also let me just talk about literals. So examples of a literal would be something like this. Now this is what we call a string, but also we could call a string literal because it's fixed. It doesn't change. Hello world will always be hello world. Okay? This is the value 5. It's also what we would call a literal because 5 will always be 5. It's not going to change. How about 4.5? 4.5 is always going to stay 4.5. It's a fixed value. We call that a literal. Okay? So literals. Okay, so we have literals. Now, what is an expression? So we're building from literals to expressions. So let's say 5 plus 5, right? That is an expression because it is combination of, it's some kind of combination of values, operators, and variables. So 5 plus 5 is an expression. Now, there are lots of different expressions. So I could do like this too. X plus 5. That's an expression. But they don't do anything. It does not move the program forward. Nothing happens really. Something happens, but not anything fundamental is happening. Now, when I create a variable, let's say I do this, right? This is what we call a statement because something is happening. I'm creating a variable. Something is happening. Although the user outside in the real world really can't see anything, but something is happening. Now, if I print or display or output the value, something is happening. There's an action happening. So that's what we call a statement. So line 1 is a statement, not an expression. Line 2 is a statement, not an expression. Okay? So we have literals, then we have expressions, and now we have statements. Again, statements do something. They move the program forward. Okay? Now, just to finish off, I just want to show you this cliche we have in the coding world. So it's called the Hello World program, and this is typically the first program that a coder will code, and it's the Hello World program. In Python, it's only one line. All it does, it calls a print function, and it outputs this string, hello world. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm executing the code. Okay, so we're at this line 1. We haven't executed it yet because you can see over here, right? This output area, nothing has happened. Okay, now we're going to execute this code. You see, we're moving forward. This is a statement that moves the program forward, right? We have the word forward here, right? And now we're in the output area. Now we can see, oh, we outputted hello world. Whoa, that was our first program that we have coded together. Hello world, okay? Hello world. And this is typically the first program that any student will code. And then depending on the language, it might be one line or it might be several lines of code. Like in Java, you don't do hello world in one line. It's actually, I think it's like 6 lines of code, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Okay, thank you for joining me in this KodeFighter class. And again, this KodeFighter class was for an adult. It was for an adult who will be working with, training, teaching kids. Okay, thank you very much. Hope to see you in the next episode of KodeFighter Class with MasterHun.